Welcome, my friends, to episode 93 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry, even though I am off until February with the little kid. And over there is Anthony, the Dev.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing up there?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
We can record this on air. I should ask. You're recording, right?
I am absolutely recording, and we
Good.
will not have a mistake like we had last week where we recorded a half an hour of one of our episodes before I realized it was not recording.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I wasn't supposed to be recording, because that would also be pretty entertaining for us to get through a half an hour and be like, neither one of us is recording.
Yeah. Well, and we want to make sure we don't waste your time like we did that other night. That was.
Oh, it's fine.
It was the best episode we've ever recorded, and we didn't record it.
I know. It's a tribute. This is a tribute to that.
Yes, it'll always be in our memories. So this week we're talking about voice actors. We're talking about the SAG-AFTRA strike, and then AAA devs in particular, using scab voice actors for their big budget games. Then we've got news about Diablo and Nintendo and Jim Ryan saying dumb stuff again.
Don't talk.
Oh my god, dude, just shut up and go away. We're gonna kind of run through the Steam summer sale just to see what is interesting to us and what we would call out, and then talk about what we're playing. So we'll start with the Union SAG-AFTRA issue. So you want to kind of just recap things for the audience?
So yeah, this went down. Man, when did they start?
It's been months, hasn't it?
Like, it has. It was sometime in 2016 that it went. I thought the negotiations failed.
October 21st.
First last year.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So there's there's been contracts between SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild. I don't know what the AFTRA stands for, but
American Film, TV, and Radio Association. Maybe.
Okay.
And I don't know what the A means, but yeah.
But basically, since 99, 2000, they've had a contract with kind of the six big either publishers or voice acting houses. And these are Activision's, EA's, Ubisoft. And then there was a couple the other voice acting companies I don't actually know, but they clearly do a lot of business with some of the other big publishers, Square Enix being one of them. So they've been working on trying to renegotiate this contract. It was coming up, and basically work on better guaranteed conditions for SAG voice actors, and then a change to the royalty plan, getting some royalties, which was about $1,000 for every 1 million copies sold.
Right, which is something similar to what like TV actors and such get.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money.
Right.
It's pretty trivial. If your game sells 1 million copies, you have $1,000 to throw to some voice actors. It's not going to kill you.
But that is a sticking point. That royalties thing is the thing that's really been the sticking point for this whole negotiation.
Yeah, for some reason. I'm not completely sure, because we can get into that as we've both been doing a bit of reading on it, and it's clear there's a lot of companies that don't use SAG actors,
right?
Because of cost. There's a lot of companies, and especially indies, that just cannot afford to hire SAG actors. So there's that. So you get this kind of mix of, most of the time SAG actors are used for the big budget things, not your indie games or very small publishers.
Right.
So, but this all went through. The big publishers, they couldn't come to an agreement. So the SAG striked voice acting, and they said any game that starts development after sometime in February 2015 had started development after that can't use SAG actors. Okay, but the thing that we're now seeing with a couple of these things is there are now starting to be games that have been started after that date, because this isn't affecting Destiny 2. This isn't affecting a lot of Call of Duties right now. It's not affecting
Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yeah, these games have been in development for well before February 2015.
Right.
So you'll probably still be at least another year to 2 years before you see any kind of major impact on the big AAA franchises.
But a couple that have been popping up in the news recently that kind of reignited this conversation, at least with us, was Resident Evil 2. They recast Claire Redfield's voice, and then also Leon Kennedy's voice. So Matt Mercer and Allison Court are not doing their voices, and then Ashley Birch, who did Aloy, in Horizon Zero Dawn, also did Chloe in Life is Strange, and she's not voicing Chloe in the prequel because of basically the strike. So not Square, no, Capcom.
It's Square.
Capcom, and then is this
Capcom,
and then Don't Nod isn't? Oh, this isn't Don't Nod. This is a different developer. Sorry,
different developer, but it's still published by Square.
Exactly. So they are, So Square Enix is making that decision basically, and they went for a scab voice actor. And I use the term scab because I'm in a union, and I've always been a union advocate, and the term for people who basically take work when union members are striking are called scabs. So the thing that always comes up in this conversation is, like, what's the point of the union? Like, why, like, for voice actors, why would they need a union? And it kind of always comes down to protection for the people, the workers. And a case in point might be, there was a recent article on Kotaku, I think, about the Smash competitive scene where they are trying to unionize. I don't know if you've seen this or not.
I didn't read it, but I saw an article on it.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
But no, I don't know exactly what their reasons for unionizing.
Well, the basic idea is that these kids, or, not just kids, but these people are just super excited to be pros, so they sign up with teams, and when they sign these contracts are just terrible. It's basically just, they're almost signing their lives away when they sign these contracts, and just getting taken advantage of by these bigger companies who know that they can take advantage of these kids because these kids want to quote-unquote live out their dream. So just again and again, at least in the Smash scene, but other competitive scenes as well, when they're signing up for, like, I don't want to name teams because I don't know which teams exactly are taking advantage of these people or these players. But these teams are basically writing contracts so that it really, really hurts the player, and they know the players will sign it because they just want to live out their dream. So the idea of unionizing for them is to give them protection so that there is a union that negotiates a certain price, certain conditions for their contracts, so that kids who want to quote-unquote live out their dream aren't signing their lives away to do this job, where these teams and these larger corporations who run these or own these teams are making tons of money off their backs. So in terms of the voice actors, I mean, this is a union that's, decades old, but, they have voice recording conditions where they're screaming. You think about a lot of these action horror kind of games where they're just screaming, and they have to do take after take after take, where they're basically shredding their vocal cords. So think about an up-and-comer who really just wants to be in a video game. Like, they will go through a lot of stuff, and they will end up hurting themselves permanently to have this opportunity. So this union, and unions in general, protect their workers in these kinds of ways.
And in some ways, it's unfortunate with the SAG thing because there are so many people not in SAG.
Right.
Like, not just in video games and, like, voice acting, but acting in general. Like, a lot of indie movies don't use SAG actors.
Right.
Because
they just can't afford it.
They can't afford it. And, like, a lot of these people that are coming, because I was trying to get a good sense before we were recording this of, like, well, what does someone have to do to even join SAG? Like, person, let's say they move to LA, dreams of being an actor. Can they join SAG right then? No, they can't.
They have to get jobs first, right? And
they have to get jobs, and the only way to join SAG is to get a job at a place that is a SAG run shop.
Right.
And you can't even sign up until you have that, until you're employed by that company.
Yep.
So I can totally understand, like, it's kind of feels to me it's somewhat like a catch-22.
Where you can't get a job unless you're SAG, but you can't be SAG unless you get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's it's not similar at all, I guess, but when I was doing science fiction fantasy writing, to join the Science Fiction Writers of America, you had to have made 3 sales to, like, established or quote-unquote approved markets.
Which is the big publishers, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of the same thing.
It's a similar thing. Like, you're going, like...
Except for they can't get the job unless they're SAG. So that is a weird catch-22, but I think there's you can get hired assuming that means you'll join SAG, I guess.
Yes, as long as the place you're getting hired is a SAG shop.
Exactly.
Which a lot of places down there aren't. Like, of course, you get hired at into any of the major movie studios and indie studios. Sure, those are, but I guarantee you there's a ton that aren't. Just like indies. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, there's a lot of people probably doing this stuff that just aren't in the guild,
right?
And don't feel like they have a way into it right now. So it's just this weird mix when it hits video games where I'm like, okay, you have the big AAAs that have pushed more into wanting SAG actors. For the most part, I was looking up Witcher 3, Geralt, not a SAG actor.
Yeah.
That was one of the first I'm like, is he? Nope.
And that's a Polish developer, so I'm sure. No, I don't know. That doesn't make
no.
The
guy who is Geralt is he American. Lives in London, but he's American.
Yeah,
he's a teacher.
Right.
Went to his website. I was just trying to see, like, are you part of this? Like, you've been working at a place that's in games that have sold really well, but
that means that CD Projekt Red is not
a SAG shop.
A SAG shop, exactly.
So I doubt they ever have, because I bet when their older games started, they weren't able to pay the costs.
Yeah.
So
and for some reason, like, I don't know if I can really articulate why, but places that have never been SAG shops, I'm not worried about them so much. I wish they would become SAG shops, but the ones who have been SAG shops who are like, well, we're going to hire scab voice actors until this is over, because they won't renegotiate this contract.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I'm not happy with.
Yeah, this is my cynical side going, like, it won't matter.
That this will never get negotiated, like they'll just keep using.
I feel like I don't, as a developer sitting here and just maybe being in this industry long enough to be cynical enough and going like, this isn't going to hurt game sales. Not one bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you look at the, Ashley Birch not voicing Chloe or the Resident Evil 2 stuff going on, are people not going to buy it because it's a different voice actress? Probably not. I think there are people like me who say I won't. I would probably buy the Life is Strange sequel, but now I won't because of this.
Yeah.
I was probably never buying Resident Evil, so.
But then it's that thing is like, I don't think there is enough players who know or care.
Right. No, you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
And that's an unfortunate place, but it's true. Right. Like, voice acting has never been to the common general player, hardcore or casual, doesn't really matter wherever you're on that spectrum. You like good voice acting, but rarely do you care about who that's doing the voice acting.
Right. And I think if I think about a lot of other media in terms of consumption, I feel like gaming is the medium where the consumers look for the cheapest deal as possible. Like they will take a cheaper deal over some, I think with some quality, degradation in quality. And not to say that scab voice actors aren't as good. I mean, I'm sure there are some that are great, but I think you're absolutely right. I mean, and people are really interested in like what's behind the strike. PBS NewsHour actually did a piece that came out recently. I think maybe even today, about why the actors are striking. So just go to PBS NewsHour and you can find that.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things when I think of like, so, I mean, the Call of Duties are the big ones that come to my mind. They had
Jon Snow, Kevin
Spacey. Like, and then I look at that, I'm like, okay, that's cool that it's there, but would the game hurt if they weren't there?
I gotta say, Kevin Spacey is the only reason I bought that game, because I don't buy Call of Duties.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's many people like me, but it convinced me, but how many people like me are there?
Yeah. It still didn't convince me.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just a weird, and it's like I would love this all to get renegotiated and worked out, but I have a hard time feeling like this SAG has much leverage, unfortunately, in the video game industry right now.
Especially if sales aren't hurt. The writer's strike, like in television and movies.
And that was significant.
Yes,
like,
and that did matter.
And that did, and that would be, to me, similar to if artists or programmers were unionized and struck, like development would grind to a halt.
Right. Which is what I don't understand why they don't. Just because of the grind, because the grind kills people. Why not?
There's been push for it every once in a while, but nothing to actually like really get it going. Like I've never seen anything that's felt like a significant movement towards it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like it's just getting over that. I haven't seen any like straight anti-unionizing stuff at any place that I've worked or anywhere.
Right.
But
it's just not really a conversation happening.
It's just not a conversation that's happening. It's not happening with devs. It's not really happening with artists. Every once in a while at GDC, you get a talk by someone and it's kind of attended, but you don't really hear a lot about it. It doesn't really, for whatever reason, the industry, the unionization talk just doesn't resonate. Maybe because honestly, working conditions aren't generally terrible.
Just until the end, right?
Yeah, just until the end, and even that somewhat gets better. Like you're talking about places that most people work that have. It's not all fun and games, but I can go back to PopCap and we have arcade machines on floors. We get catered lunches. We get catered dinners. We get all sorts of just additional perks and benefits. Like people are happy. And the last time there was anything like really bad crunch that like bubbled up, like entire labor laws changed.
Right.
Back in the EA spouse days of the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And that just changed entire Washington State and California labor laws around who could be salaried or who had to be hourly.
And I think the whole situation you just described, how do I want to say this? That I don't know if that happens everywhere, and I literally don't know.
It happens at more places, like more places that I've gone to, like in video games. Like, of course, indies and smaller companies don't get that, but like the bigger companies there tends to be a lot of benefits, additional perks being in those companies. Like, yeah, you might get worked and have to do like a 6 months of grinding and on a game, but all the people I've talked to that have gone through that, they still feel like, yeah, it sucked that we had to do all that work and work long hours and stuff, but they always are like, well, the company took care of us though. Like they got us dinner, they got us like I know places where in the grind, I won't name companies, like they would go have people take care of the laundry for them and like do chores for them and things like that, so that they didn't have to worry about that part of their life. Some big companies I know have done that, so it's an odd situation where I'm like, I feel like some of that is why people aren't as like, we need a union, because they feel like if things had stayed like EA spouse level where people were sleeping under desks and not getting taken care of,
right,
then I feel like unions would be inevitable.
Well, and I think that the unions, I mean, from history, unions came about because of workers being taken advantage of, and
exactly,
and if you're in an industry or if you're in a place where that's not happening, then there's less need for that, you know.
And it's not saying I am not anti-union at all. I think unions are great. So I think it would be, if something like, if that trend came back of like this constant, like, yeah, we're going to exploit these workers beyond belief, then you would see a push. I don't think anyone in the game industry likes being taken advantage of.
Yeah, and also if you're kind of looking for like a race to the bottom in terms of like salary, and I don't think that's happening. I don't really know what your contracts are like. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I could get paid more if I wasn't doing games.
Yeah.
Like games pay less than your just general tech job,
right.
But sometimes, I should say, they're averagely lower than that. But no, most people I know, especially up here in the Seattle area, no, your salaries are quite competitive, because a programmer doing games could be a programmer at Amazon or Microsoft in non-games. So they need to make the salaries competitive enough with those non-game companies.
Right.
So it's a hard thing right now. I don't think that's going to happen. So there's not a push in the game industry to unionize. So games from this SAG strike aren't going to stop being made. You're just going to have different voice actors.
Yeah, and I wonder if the SAG-AFTRA will just drop that royalty request. I'd like to see them keep it up, but eventually someone's going to back down. So we'll see who it is.
Yeah, and I should bring up that there's we talked about this before the show, but I can't find it. There's supposedly 25 companies that SAG will work with, Nintendo being one of them that we've deduced.
Will work with right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
we'll continue.
okay.
They have a contract with SAG. SAG actors can work on Nintendo stuff.
Right.
They are not one of the companies listed as blacklisted right now. But there's 24 other companies. I don't know what they are. Probably only SAG members can find that out.
Right. And it's we know who it's not. At least some of them, like the big six.
The big six.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think other people who need to be unionized are the Demon Hunter. I think the Barbarian need to think about a union because they've got someone coming in who might be taking their job, so they need to protect themselves, and it's the Necromancer.
It's true.
We have not talked about the Necromancer, and that's crazy because we love Diablo. And you played the beta, right?
I did play a few hours of the beta.
Okay.
Like 5 of probably like month and a half ago. I'm really surprised we didn't talk about it.
Yeah. On PC, right?
But, yeah, it's a PC. I just got in. You basically install a separate client. It was a beta client that connects to the beta server.
Okay.
And yeah, I played 20-ish levels of just doing bounties with the Necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
It was different. It feels like the Necromancer. Corpses matter a lot. Like, as you're playing the Necromancer, when enemies dies, they become corpses, and you can do things with those corpses, like corpse explosion or summon things. Like, it's different than the Witch Doctor, though.
I was going to ask you that.
It feels definitely felt
Okay.
Because you're managing. Because yes, you have summons and you have different creatures around you, following you, skeletons and things like that. But the mechanic of having the additional resource of the corpses on the ground changes the way that you're managing everything.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like, I'm very happy that they're putting this in. It was only the male Necromancer I could play.
Oh,
they did not have the female model ready.
Right, but that's going to be in the game, so
I assume so. Whenever this comes out, because we should say it's coming out next week.
Yeah, it's the 27th for PC, Xbox, and PS4.
Yeah,
which is rad. I know I'm probably gonna have a baby at that time, so I won't be playing it soon. But it's gonna be there when I want it. And it's not just. It's more than just the character, right? Are there coming other stuff too, or is it just?
There's
character?
A patch. There's 2 points. So let's see. Whenever there's so we should say it's $15, and you get the Necromancer. You get a non-combat pet, some wings, new sigils and banners and accents, portrait frames, pin it, 2 additional character slots, and 2 additional stash tabs.
And that last one's only for PC.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's $15. $15.
$15. Yeah. And it's interesting because I was like, okay, are people going to be complaining that it's $15 or not? And I would say that it was about 3 to 1 people being completely okay with the price.
Yeah, that price feels good for me. I mean, I know it's a lot of work.
A whole class is a lot of work for this game.
And people would say, well, it's just one character. Like, well, there's a lot of work to get that shit working.
Yeah. So it's all cutscenes, because all character classes in Diablo have unique between act cutscenes.
Right.
So there's all that.
Voice acting.
Unique voice acting for everything. So, yeah, it's not like there's a significant amount of work to make this fit into the single player side and the multiplayer side. And then on the same day is patch 2.6, which I haven't looked a ton in. It has challenge rifts, the Shroud new zones. So 2 new zones.
And Realms of the Fate?
Three Realms of the Fate. Maybe that's 3 zones. So, I mean, it's going to be a 2.6, I think, is a pretty significant patch.
That's great.
On its own. So, yeah, they're just continuing with Diablo 3. Maybe there won't be a Diablo 4.
I mean, just games as service, right? They just keep adding stuff to... I mean, I feel like they've really done a good job of perfecting the formula where it started off not great, and it's moving towards something really strong. From the scuttlebutt on the internet, we didn't put this in our show notes, but Blizzard is hiring people who look like they're going to have jobs remastering old games, and the hints are Diablo 2 is one of them.
I could see that. So I think the StarCraft 2 HD was probably a test into that.
Yeah.
Or StarCraft HD.
Right.
Remastering that. So why not turn your eye to the most successful Diablo?
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Bring Diablo 2 looks like Diablo 3. I would be all over that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking at what the build notes are for 2.6. Yep. Set dungeons, bounties, new bounties. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff coming for Diablo 3, that game.
Blizzard does a lot of great post-launch content.
Well, yeah, they want these games to just continue. And I mean, how many years did they do Diablo 2 stuff?
There were 2 expansions, weren't there?
Well, there's just the one expansion for Diablo 2. But then they just did patch after patch. Even they did one 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
They still patched in stuff to it was so you could play it without the discs.
Oh.
Just random things that you're like, sure, okay. I didn't realize you had some programmer sitting there all alone working on this.
Right.
So I don't know. Blizzard has always felt good to me in the fact that they care about their old properties and don't want to completely ignore them.
Well, and they put Diablo 1 into Diablo 3 in that special event. Yeah. All this stuff.
And then they do that, and I think you can kind of start seeing with the Diablo 3 and Overwatch, Hearthstone, they're getting into this groove of how they want to foster their games.
Yeah. I like the cross-pollination as well. Especially, I think they do Heroes of the Storm, right?
Yeah. They do Heroes of the Storm as well.
Right, so you get a bunch of characters from all their different properties in there, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, me too.
I won't be home, so whatever. I'll get to it when I get back.
We're both super excited, and neither one of us will play it when it launches, probably.
Nope.
So the next piece of news is actually a tweet from Nintendo Japan, which basically apologized for Switch shortages and says that they are shipping new units weekly and will increase their shipment volume in July and August. The note is that it was in Japanese for a Japanese audience, so I'm not sure if they're talking to only Japan and not worldwide, but I assume if there's new increase in shipment volume in Japan, it'll be increasing elsewhere as well.
Yeah, it would have to.
Yeah,
I would assume. I think this really is just saying that they're ramping up production, and towards the end of summer, you should see. I think people will be able to find Switches come the fall.
Yeah, I hope so. There's the news recently that the flash memory was the issue, where Apple, Google, and Nintendo were all fighting for the Toshiba's flash memory, and there's not enough to go around. So.
Yeah. Oh, fun. And yeah, Nintendo might be big there, but it'd be really hard to fight Apple if Apple said, we want all of this.
Absolutely. And they have a new iPhone every year, and that uses 32 gig, 64 gig flash memory, so the 32 gig is what Nintendo needs for their Switch. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you're right that there will be stock for the holiday where it's not another the most desired item because there is no supply.
No, it's a lie. I will say that this is not Nintendo trying to make supply poor.
I hope not, because
they're not trying to do this.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that they would love those RAM chips if they could get them.
Well, I'm sure they'd love to sell 10 million more units. That's just money for them. So of course they're, I think the conspiracy theories are they like to constrain supply to increase demand, but that doesn't really shake out.
Not right now. I mean, you don't want so much supply that they're just sitting in store shelves.
Right.
Where people are like, I don't need to get one. I could just get one anytime. But you want people to believe that, hey, if I want one, if I keep track of it, I should be able to go into a store and get one.
Right.
If I know what I'm doing. But it's that fine line that these hardware companies have to balance on. But I think right now Nintendo is not. They would love to be balancing that line, but they can't even do that. So we'll see. I'm hopeful, so I can get mine come this September. I would love it.
Right.
I can be ready for Mario.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a console that you're gonna really like, especially with the kids, to sit and play some of those games with them just kind of crowded around you in portable mode.
Yeah.
That'd be
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
Especially Mario for that.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really been introduced to a good a straight Mario game, and I think Odyssey will be a fun one.
Capturing other people, throwing the hat
Yeah.
and becoming them. I think that they'll like you to do that with lots of things in the environment.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Can you do that?" I'm like, "Let's find out."
All right. Can you become a building? I don't know. Can you become Captain Toad?
Probably.
That'd be sweet. Nintendo is also going to update the Switch so that, or maybe they already did.
They did put out on, I don't know. Yeah, 3.0 did come out.
Yeah, that's the one I just downloaded. So basically it helps you find your Joy-Con if you lost them.
Yeah.
It'll buzz them if they're like in your couch somewhere and you can hear them. And I think there's some other features as well.
Yeah. Add friends from your Nintendo 3DS and Wii U friend list. And actually, my friends who just got Switches, they were also able to add friends that they had on Fire Emblem on iOS.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
That's how they friended each other, like without sending friend codes. They're like, "Oh, hey, I already have you on my friend list," or have access to saying, "Hey, I want to friend this person." Yeah. Right. So the Fire Emblem Heroes friend list ties into all this as well.
Okay, I haven't even. I downloaded it, but I haven't messed around with it because I was just playing. What the hell was I playing? Some game, I forget. Oh no, Zelda. I was playing Zelda again. So I didn't even go into all the features. I just I moved.
Just got it.
Yeah, I downloaded it, made sure it worked, and actually hooked up my Switch to wired connection, moved everything over. We got some new furniture, so I rearranged everything and got it hooked up to Ethernet, and it goes a lot faster. It's really nice.
I can imagine. I did that with my PS4. Usually is on Wi-Fi. Something I was downloading. I was downloading Persona 5's the Japanese audio. Mm-hmm. It's like a 2.5 gig download.
Right.
It's free. It's just a separate thing you can download. I had it sitting on Wi-Fi and it was just going slow, and so I was like, fine, I'll plug you in directly. And it was done in like 10 minutes. Or less. It was so much faster.
Yeah, the Switch definitely is like double as fast. The PS4, when I'm plugged into Ethernet, it is like 8 times as slow. It is 8 times faster on Wi-Fi, on 5G.
Really?
Yeah, it's
so not for
weird.
Me.
So weird. Another thing about the update that's going to be important for competitive play later, I think, is that the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller, now you can use it as a wired controller by using the USB charging cable that comes with it.
Nice.
So no input lag for Switch, or not Switch, Smash when it eventually comes out. So yeah, it's pretty cool. There's, and it actually had notes this time. Usually it's just like stability. So
yeah, it seems like some good stuff. Waiting to see when the next big one would be that would, like, give you whatever their game subscription thing is, or what their it's got to happen. It's got to happen soon.
It's going to. They've been doing a really good job of just keeping themselves in the news, so they still have stuff spaced out. And I think Reggie said to you yesterday, or in an interview I read yesterday, that they have games coming out in 2017 they haven't even announced yet. So
that's not shocking.
Probably small games or smaller games, but still, this week Oceanhorn came out, and Push Square or Death Square or Square Death, or I don't remember what it's called.
There's a ton of indies coming out for the Switch.
Exactly. It's every week, and last week or week before was Mighty Gunvolt Burst, which just surprised the hell out of me, and I forgot to write my notes of the other game I'm playing. That's awful, which I'll save. But yeah, just these indies are surprising to me, at how much I'm enjoying playing them.
Well, awesome. And not enjoying hearing things.
Oh my god.
Is stuff from Jim Ryan, speaking of indies. God damn it.
Yeah, so you read his quote, right?
Stop talking. Yes.
Okay, will you talk about it? Because you're an indie developer.
Well, this is pretty clear now from Sony is not courting indies anymore. Yeah. They don't need to. They're winning. They it's pretty clear, being in this position, like things that I've heard, they're not giving money to indies anymore. Like, you can be on their platform, but it's going to be a hard thing to get any kind of special treatment. So this is what happens every time for the whatever consoles the best selling. Microsoft during the 360 time, towards the end of that, we're just like, no, we'll open it up. You can be on Xbox Live Arcade, but we're not going to sit here and like promote you.
You're not going to use Summer of Arcade anymore.
Yeah, we're just going to stick you back somewhere. Like, we're going to promote our AAA stuff.
Well, it's just crazy the way he said it. He said that it's good to talk about. So indie games, he said it was good to talk about in 2013, 2014. It's less relevant now.
Yep.
Like, indie games are not less relevant now. Like,
to them they are. To Sony, to him, because in a weird way they don't sell the console anymore. It's at this point now with the people that they're selling to, honestly don't care about those games.
Right.
Like, this is the people that are going to be buying
Call of Duty,
Battlefields, Call of Duties, Battlefront, Assassin's Creed,
right?
Things like that. Just the big AAA, like their yearly franchises, and maybe they'll dabble into like the store and see some indies, maybe, but for the most part, no. So it's unfortunate. I'm not shocked. This is where always, if you're an indie developer, if you want to get to be on a platform, be it there at the start.
Yeah.
Like target getting your thing there at the beginning, you'll get the most support. A few years in, you'll start losing push behind you, because you'll get crowded out by big publishers, and bigger, not even big publishers, even smaller publishers will get preference over indies.
Yeah. I wonder what you think. So you've had every PlayStation since the beginning, right?
I have
1, 2, 3, and 4. So between 2 and 3, like the hubris that had them come out and say PS3 is going to be $600 and blah blah, are they returning to that? Because I feel like they were humble at the beginning.
They were humbled. I feel like they're less humble now. Like every winter, are they at the point where they would put out a $600 console? I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. They're not like people love us, so they'll buy anything we put out.
No, no one's come on stage saying, hey, if they wanted that, if they actually had felt that way, the PS4 Pro would have been $500.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They still understand that they need to keep a certain price point and what people want. So no one's on stage saying, I really want, what was it, years ago with the PS3, we expect people to have a second job to afford this console.
Right.
That was the Japanese translation, whatever that was an unfortunate phrase to use.
There are quite a few unfortunate phrases being bandied about recently.
Yeah, so I don't think so. I think this is just more in the way of, I feel like the way that Jim Ryan is saying it is poor.
Yes.
But it's true in the life cycle of a console, especially a successful one. Indie games become less relevant as time goes on.
Yeah.
To sell the console because you have content. You don't need content.
That's right.
There's more than enough content for a consumer.
Yeah, and I think that what he's saying is basically what they're talking about behind the scenes. Like, this is their internal dialogue, but he keeps saying things that are just like, dude, just don't.
This is the thing where you're like, no, this would be passed through marketing to make this sound a whole lot better. Or just say, no, you don't say it that way at all.
Right.
So yeah, that was dumb.
But we move on. People are still going to like Sony, and I still like Sony. I'm not going to not play Sony products or whatever. But just I keep smacking my forehead when he talks.
Yep.
Last piece of news, the big news, is the Steam Summer Sale is live. And it's not news that the servers crashed, but they're back up.
No, they usually go through the first couple hours where everyone wants to get all their games now.
Even though it's like a 2-week thing.
Yeah, it's going to be on sale the entire time.
Right.
Some new things they're doing this year. The sticker book.
I don't even understand what that is.
I think I figured it out. I've done it 2 days in a row now. You click on it, and then you have quests to do, which is just stuff in Steam of like, check out discovery queues, follow a new curator, review preferences, things like that.
We did this last year for something.
And you
else.
get sticker packs.
Right.
And you open the sticker packs, and there's a bunch of different scenes, and you can put the stickers. Like, you're just trying to collect all the stickers. Right. And it sounds like by the end, if you do all the quests, by the end you'll get all the stickers.
Right.
Because you can't buy, you can't sell them. Those aren't things. You still get trading cards, like always. And I've already started selling some of mine off. So,
right.
Yay. But I mean, it's the normal Steam sale. 2 weeks, everything's on sale. Or most everything. One funny thing is the top selling game on Steam right now is not on sale.
Is it PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
It's still been it dropped to number 2 briefly yesterday when Nier Automata.
Yeah, that's when I saw it yesterday. It was
came up, and now Battlegrounds is back on top, and it's not on sale, which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, my question for you would be: do early access games go on sale during the Steam Summer Sale?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
I've gotten plenty. The thing with Battlegrounds is they don't need to go on sale.
Right.
They're selling.
Yeah.
So they've been at number 1 for like 3.5, 4 weeks now. Some ridiculous number of days that's been the best-selling game. Steam Spy has them close to 4 million copies sold.
Right.
And this game's not slowing down. I have not played. I've started watching some videos and going, I would play this in a group.
Yeah, I think that would be.
I could not play it my own.
Right.
But playing in a team, I've watched a few videos of like 4-person team play of it.
Right.
And it was really. They were having a blast, mostly because they're just being funny to each other.
Right, griefing each other.
They're not griefing each other. They're actually focusing, but they're just joking around while they play.
Right.
Which seemed a lot more entertaining. So that's there, but everything else in the best-selling list is all on sale. There's some good stuff.
Yeah, let's call it a few things that we think are really good.
We should call out the one that you gave me, and I was going to buy anyway.
The no-brainer one.
Shadow of Mordor for $4.
$4? Holy Are you kidding me?
Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, the Bright Lord DLC, everything.
$4. Just get that game. It is.
Yeah, if you haven't played it, grab it.
It's the best deal, I think, on the entire sale.
Right.
Other things that, like even in the top that I see. I would say I wouldn't get Nier right now.
Yeah, because the patches and stuff.
Unless you really want to play it, because if it's 30% now, I would expect by the Christmas sale, it'll be like 50%
off.
So
yeah,
I feel this is how I'm looking at the Steam sale now. I will buy some games that I want to play right now, because anything that's on sale right now will be on the same sale or bigger at the Christmas sale.
That's right. And especially for those single player experiences like Nier, like you could wait.
Yeah. Trying to think of some stuff, like some smaller stuff. I've looked at Hollow Knight because a lot of people are talking about that.
People are freaking out about that game right now.
Yeah, so Hollow Knight's one. I do recommend like Hyperlight Drifters, 50% off.
Yeah, I saw that $9.99.
That would be a good one to pick up. Stardew Valley, another one that I loved, is 40% off, which is the biggest discount it's had in its lifetime. I'm trying to see other stuff on my wish list that's super cheap. $2.50 for Tron 2.0 if you want a fun FPS. Like a little bit more lighthearted, but kind of has RPG elements to it. I will always praise Tron 2.0 being a fun change of pace for FPS. What else is in here that I'm looking at? There's Stardew. You can get all of Fallout 3 for $10, and I think Fallout 4 everything for $15.
Yeah, $15.
I would recommend either one of those for insane amounts of content. We should also say that Witcher 3 Game of the Year is 50% off, which seems to be its pretty standard.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go below 50. Like
ever.
It's been 50 at the last few sales.
Right.
And on Good Old Games, that's the lowest they ever go. And I would recommend it. 50% off, it's totally worth the Game of the Year.
Worth it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great deal.
I was surprised Mafia 3 was at 15. I'm still not jumping on that bandwagon, but it's pretty cheap. Came out in October.
Yeah, that's about right though. You start seeing the first sales from stuff that came out in the fall. This would be the time you'd see those bigger sales.
Right, like the single player campaign stuff.
My other recommendation for people is if they have games on Steam that they're like, I liked those games, this is a great time to pick up DLC.
Ah, yeah, right.
Because a bunch of DLC is cheap. I'm actually considering, not in DLC, the latest Deus Ex now.
Uh-huh.
Because they put out both DLCs, and I think you can get it all for like $20.
Oh, so everything's out. I didn't realize that.
I think it's everything that was in the season pass.
Okay.
So...
Because I expected to say like Game of the Year edition, but it still just says Mankind Divided.
Yeah, there's a bundle that includes the DLC. There's something in there. Doom was 15.
Oh yeah, there you go. Now. That's a digital deluxe edition for 22. Yeah, Doom is 15.
Man, there's a lot I have to choose from. Like, there's some good sales. Grand Theft Auto 5 is never going below 50.
Yeah. And they started to clear up the Open 4 mod issue, so I think they're they've just been hit with a ton of negative reviews because of that, but I think they convinced Take-Two to change their mind on that a little bit.
I do recommend the Borderlands 2 Game of the Year edition. $9, just under $9 for all of its DLC. I loved Borderlands 2. That was, I don't know, have you played any
I
of
have
those?
the Handsome Jack collection on PS4, so I've played about 5-6 hours of it. It's fun.
I recommend 2 over 1. 2 was where they really nailed kind of the mechanics of really balancing the Diablo-esque side of it.
And that's the one I played is 2 in that collection.
2 was the one. Yeah, it was 2 was the bright spot. They had some fun classes. Anything that you really were like, man, you should pick this up.
Well, when I saw Shadow of Mordor, I was like, oh my god, that's a no-brainer. I was like, I already own that one, so I need to buy it for someone else. Things I haven't bought anything for myself yet, but I do have a couple things in my cart. Things that are in my cart currently is Rex Rocket, which was on a lot of people's list. People were asking like, what are some good like $2-3 games? This is a platformer that's kind of like Mega Man-esque, 8-bit looking, that came out that people really like. It came out about 3 or 4 years ago. Just like it for the price point. It's 99 cents. So that, and I have Westerado, which is a Western kind of pixel art game that people were basically referring to as the 2D Red Dead Redemption. So that's $2.99. So those are 2 like really cheap ones that a couple hours of entertainment. And then I have South Park Stick of Truth, which is $7.50, which seems like a really good deal. Finally get to play that. I played on Xbox, but I didn't finish it. So I'd like to get back to that game. I think that's like a historic low for that game. Other games that I'd probably call out, $20 for Dishonored 2. Seems like a really good price for Dishonored 2, which people really enjoyed that game, even though some people didn't like the first one. They really liked the second one. Transistor for $3. If you haven't played Transistor, just turn the podcast off and go buy it and play it. I still think back. I played that game in 2014 when you recommended it to me, and I still think back to how great that game was. And I played through 3/4 Sebastian, never finished it. Transistor is, I think, far superior.
It was right for you.
It was absolutely. In my mind, it was the better game. What else would I say?
I agree.
Yeah, I'd probably say Hitman Season 1 is $24. So if you haven't played Hitman, $24 for the whole shebang is really awesome. And then give me 1 second to go back to the store page because there are 2 other things that I wanted to call out. I'm going to vamp for a second until I get there. There we go. Dishonored 2. And Rise of the Tomb Raider for $24.
50% off?
60% off.
60%. No, because it's $60. Yeah.
Yeah, 60% off. That was such a phenomenal game. And then last, Ori and the Blind Forest for $9, $9.99 actually.
Seems pretty good.
Such a good Metroidvania, really just beautiful. So those ones I'd probably call out. Those are the 3 I'm probably going to buy. I might add. I don't really want to rebuy games. Like I would want to play Doom with the keyboard and mouse, but I have it on PS4, so I'm not going to double dip. But I keep coming back to Hollow Knight. Just for how it looks, the aesthetic. And Hyper Light Drifter as well. So there's a lot of fun stuff out there. When you look at the top, I took the top 2 pages or so. I have quite a number of those games, so I've got lots to play.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I really recommend you do not have to collect them all.
Exactly.
That's not where we're at with these. Like, they'll be on sale again. You can't play them all right now.
Right.
Trust me.
I'm such a collector. It's so hard. I'm like, stop. Like, there's a PS4 sale last week, and it was like the Arkham collection.
Yeah.
For $20, and then the Arkham Knight for $10. I was like, I could have them all digitally on my PS4. Like, I have them on my computer. I'm not going to buy them again. And I really had to stop myself from doing that, which I'm glad I did, because I can play them on my computer.
Oh, when I saw Kentucky Route Zero,
yeah,
which I've heard amazing things about,
right,
is on sale for 50% off to $12.50 for all of it.
I'm
tempted.
I've been sitting on that for a long time. I got it from a Humble Bundle. I've heard such good things too.
I know a couple people that I trust a lot who just adore that game.
I know. So isn't it not finished yet?
There's
still one more episode, I think.
There might be. I don't know. 5 acts. The remaining act will be released when it's there's Act 6 is not out.
Right. And the last one, it took like a year. It took a while for the last one to come out.
Yeah. But it's what it is. It's for this whole season pass. So $12.50, you'll get all the episode acts when even the one that's not out.
Right.
So
it's almost like
I don't know. That's one I'd consider. Okay.
It's almost like the Song of Ice and Fire of video games. Like, that last piece will come out whenever.
Oh man, we're so close.
I'm not watching that fucking trailer.
No, it's fine. You don't have to watch the trailer. I watched it multiple times. But a month away.
I know. Isn't that crazy? We're so close to it, and it's like 6 episodes.
6 or 7. I think this one's 7 and next season's 6.
Okay. I'm sure HBO is not happy about that, because we all buy HBO now just for that and then cancel when it's over.
For the time being, I'm glad that the showrunners stuck to their guns and said, no, this is all we need. This is how we want to finish it. We're not going to pad it. We're not going to...
When you saw the leak about Jon Snow, right?
No.
Okay, well, I won't say it then. But
you can say it. I want to know now.
Oh, okay. There's a review or a preview of the season, and they revealed his real name.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's not John?
No. His initials are JT, and you know what the T stands for.
Yep.
Yeah, which is, for book readers, that's not a surprise. None of this is a surprise, so I'm still okay with it. But yeah, I kind of want to wait for the show for that to be revealed. So, who knows if it's real or not, but it was a pretty legit leak. So
yeah, I'm very curious how long it's going to take before Jon Snow in this show, like, the audience knows now. When will he know his lineage?
Right.
Like, how is that ever going to get back to him?
Benjen's not dead.
Benjen's not dead. I mean,
that's all I can think.
I assume Bran will at some point tell him.
Yeah, and it's footage in that trailer is of Bran coming back to Castle Black, I think.
You kind of get I assume that's going to happen at some point. It's just one of those things where I'm now sitting here going like, okay, this could be an interesting way of getting him that information, get him to believe it is another thing.
Right, that's totally true. Well, once he touches the dragon and it lets him fly it, then I think we'll be set.
Sold.
3 dragon riders. Dany, Jon, and I hope it's Tyrion.
I hope. That'd be great.
That'd be great. That's
He deserves it.
He really does. That's his favorite character, and my favorite character too.
So as we had some off topic there, we can talk about now into games we've been playing.
Oh, thanks for that segue, because I forgot we were doing a games podcast.
I know. Well, soon, in less than a month, we can shift back to our off topic, where people can go away. We'll talk about Game of Thrones for a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us what you've been playing.
So I picked up Dead Cells and started playing it. I've played a couple hours into it.
Is it on sale? Or
it did go on sale.
Okay.
But I got it before the sale anyway. So, whatever. It's like it's only like a 15%. I didn't expect a lot from it because it's so new.
Right.
But I've seen 4 zones so far, and I've killed one of the bosses and then got stomped by the boss in the sewer.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot more to that game than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty. We'll be talking about this one on
Yeah, it's our game club selection for this month, so we're gonna dig into it for sure in June. But I agree with you. I've gotten to that first boss like 3 times so far, and I haven't beat him yet. I got with like a sliver of his health left, and I died. It was
rolling.
Yeah, right.
So much rolling.
Yep.
And then I couldn't stop myself, and I started New Game Plus on Persona with Japanese voice.
Oh, so you're doing the dub or the sub?
I'm doing subbed with Japanese voice this time through. I've probably put another 4 or 5 hours into it, maybe a little bit more. I'm back into the first dungeon. I love that game. I absolutely love it. Especially I think the first probably like 12, 15 hours it's a lot of tutorial for the first like 4 or 5, but I don't care because it has such cool scenes.
Right.
And the music, I love the music. Just gets me every time.
So you're gonna go all the way through again, you think?
No, I might try to platinum it. Platinum it though, and I still need to get decently far into it to platinum it, but I wouldn't mind attempting that.
Right.
And it will go a lot faster. Like I'm already speeding through things quite a bit. I can. I'm not skipping cutscenes because I'm doing it in Japanese, so I just give myself something new to listen to. But a lot of the mechanics on the side with confidants and the persona collecting personas, since I've done so much of that already, it's way quicker.
Right.
And I get to keep some of it from my old game. So yeah, that's for the most part what I've been playing, and then sometimes late at night working on my game.
I saw you playing Space Tyrant last night. I was like, oh my god, are you working at 10:30 at night?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're in crunch time now, I guess.
Sometimes you just have an idea or something comes up and you're like, yep, I need to work on this.
Right.
I'm also going to be gone for a week, so.
Right. You get some stuff in ahead of time.
I want to get some work done and then, so yeah. It happens.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that's what I've been messing with so far, and then a little bit more Pokemon Moon with the kids. Not a lot, but the DS is going with me on vacation.
Nice. So you get to play with them a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to play there a little bit, and I'm taking Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy Explorers as well.
I imagine with your kids kind of crowding around watching you play on a DS, the Switch will be just like this huge, like a big screen experience at that point.
Yeah,
because how much bigger the screen is.
Yeah, I think it'll be awesome. I can't wait.
That's awesome. This week I beat Superhot. I did it, I think, at the end of the last show. After we recorded, I turned it on. Played about another hour. It's about a 2-hour experience, and it's just such a cool puzzle game. Like, it's sure people call it a first-person shooter. It's a puzzle game, and just figuring out how to get through the environment, killing all the enemies and getting to the objective. And then when you finish it all, then it does it in real time because everything's, if you don't move, nothing else moves really. So it's, I still don't. Price point is a tricky thing. It was a fun experience. I got it with the Humble Bundle. I think it's definitely worth some money, absolutely. The reward the developers for sure for creating such a unique experience. But I do understand some of the criticism of a higher price point for such a short experience that's super replayable, but I don't feel any need to replay it after I've gone through it.
So, $25 normally.
You're right, and it's $14.99 right now on sale?
Yeah. That is a little high for... It's higher than I would expect it to be.
I think it's a good... Like, $10, I think it's a no-brainer. $15 is a question mark. And it's coming to PlayStation and Xbox One now, and I think it's going to be probably $25, which I think is too high for it, to be honest. But
clearly it doesn't have an issue. It's sold 640,000 copies at that price.
And does that include Humble Bundle?
That would include Humble Bundle.
Right.
So who knows how many it is.
I wonder what it was a couple months ago before the Humble Bundle. So today I sat down and played my NES Classic and played some Punch-Out. I'm working my way through that game. I've never beaten it. I've gotten to Mr. Dream on the regular NES. I don't know how I did that. So I'm kind of working through with the save state, which, it's cheating, but I don't care. So I'm like 3 fights away from Mr. Dream, but I plan on beating that game eventually. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but when I put the NES controller in my hand, it just feels so good. I'm like, this is just a rectangle, like a hard rectangle. Why does this feel good? And I think it's just because we grew up playing with this controller. So it's just, I wish there were more NES classics for you folks to play. But some people still have their Nintendos, I guess. I think you do.
I don't have my Nintendo. I have my Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
My Nintendo is long gone somewhere.
Yeah. Mine's at my house with my brother, so I'm sure, I don't know. Hopefully I can retrieve that one day. Although I'm fine with the NES Classic. I'm also playing God of War 3 Remastered, which is a weird choice. I was looking to pop into something that I could kind of mindlessly bash away at, because I'm, getting ready for baby and thinking about baby.
Yeah.
I just wanted something kind of mindless and short. And the first time I played it last year, I was doing it during my sabbatical, so everything's in Spanish, which is kind of fun. And I didn't really like the game, but now I do. Like, I just like this hack and slash kind of mindless.
It's so
thing.
Over the top.
Oh God, my wife was sitting there when.
Oh God, I would not have your wife watch this game.
I just she was taking a shower. She came downstairs. She's like, "What are you playing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's God of War." And there was a scene right where you're with Helios and you like start stomping his head and then you rip his head off.
Yep, and you use his head as an item for the rest of the game.
Exactly. And she was just like, "What are you playing?" I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, it kind of in some ways also completely plays into the Greek gods.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like completely like it's juvenile in so many, all those games. They're just super juvenile and over the top, and especially with like their imagery and everything. But whenever you really look at like stories of the Greek gods and how they acted and what they did, yeah, that it kind of fits.
I'm just trying to square Kratos of this game with the Kratos in the God of War 4 stuff that I've seen, where he seems like a person, because this guy is just like dick. Like he was crawling.
No, he's a dick. He's totally a dick.
Oh my God, he was crawling around the edge of a building and it was on fire, and some peasant runs out of on the balcony and says, "Help me, help me!" So he reaches over there and there's like a button prompt, and I think I'm gonna help him. I grab the guy, I crush his face against the building and throw him off the edge.
Yep.
Like
you are the God of War.
Yeah.
Right. You. That's kind of his thing through the first 3 games. That's what has interested me with the stuff that they've shown with the next God of War is the tonal change.
Right.
Like, which makes sense. If you get to the end of this and you go through it, you'll be like, especially me, who I played all 3 of them. It needed to happen. Like, there isn't really a place to go with Kratos' character in its current form in God of War 3 forward after this. You're like, no, like, we're done. I still think 2 is probably the best.
Oh, okay.
3 is good. 3 is really pretty. 2, though, had some pretty amazing set pieces.
Okay.
Overall, they were. 3 has the Titans that you're fighting, which are insane.
Yeah.
The huge, but
right.
2 just had some really incredible scene setups. I think it was 2 where it went to 2D at one point.
Huh.
Like silhouetted 2D.
Uh-huh.
You were doing a boss fight, and it was silhouetting you in 2D and like against stained glass.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was incredible. Like some of the imagery is just, and this is on a PS2. It was
right.
Amazing. So they're fun games.
Is just dumb fun.
They're dumb fun, and they're incredibly violent and intense.
Oh my God.
And just what it is. Holy cow.
But it just feels like I'm reading through like a myth of the Greek god, which is what it is.
It is. It doesn't try to hide that. It's, I think, in a lot of ways where we think of the Greek mythology, it's taught as very academic and everything. But if you really read some of the stuff, you're like, no, this was their way of getting out a lot of those same emotions.
Right. I think it's a great primer for what's coming up next. I don't think I could play another one like this. I guess I have to be like in a really the mood for it. Like I guess the last time I played a game like this, not nearly as graphic or anything, but Rise, Son of Rome is just like a hack and slash kind of combo game. It's dumb fun. And then the last thing I played, I picked it up on the PSN sale, and I just regret spending any money on this game. And I knew it when I bought it, but after playing Mighty Gunvolt Burst, I thought it'd be kind of fun to check it out. Mighty Number 9 is fucking awful. It is really bad.
Oof. At least you have first-hand experience now.
Good God, it is really bad. Like the level design is awful. The graphics aren't that great. Really just like it's so bland. It's just like jump over things, jump down, jump over, jump down. Here's an enemy. Here's another enemy. It's just really no reason why it should be there. It's not hard. It's not anything. It's nothing. It's like the person who created Mega Man. It seemed like it's the person who just created his image and didn't really do any level design, decided that they was going to make a name for himself by saying he was the creator of Mega Man, and then make another game, which is pretty much exactly what happened. So that's bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Mighty Gunvolt Burst is 20 times better. It is so good compared to Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9 is just awful. So.
Okay, good to know.
Don't buy it. Don't
touch
play
that
it.
one.
Nope.
There is a PSN sale going on right now.
Yeah. You mean the new flash sale that went up today?
Yeah, the co-op flash sale.
Flash sale. Anything from there that looked interesting to you?
I didn't get. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of games.
Nothing that was straight up standing out to me. But yeah, I just saw that and I was like, wow, okay.
Well, it was just it was just the double PS Plus sale, which is where I picked up Steins Gate 0 and Mighty Number 9. So I actually got fooled. I thought I was buying Steins Gate, but I ended up buying Steins Gate 0, which is the sequel to Steins Gate, but that's fine because I'm going to get Steins Gate anyways. But I'll play this one. What on here? Oh yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 and 1. They're both $15, $16 right now. I was thinking about picking up 2.
Those are fun games.
Yeah, it's kind of like Diablo.
Kind of mindless.
Yeah, exactly. Diablo, but with Marvel, and I heard 2 is better than 1, so I'll probably grab that one, and not really much else. There's nothing else that really strikes my fancy that I don't already have.
Yeah.
Lords of the Fallen for $3 is probably a good deal if no one picked it up on PS Plus.
If you're looking for a Souls
clone
game,
thing.
yeah.
And then anything else on there that piques my interest? No, that's about it. Yeah. So we are going to have an interesting recording schedule the next couple of weeks. I think I'll have a baby by next time, so you probably won't hear me for a couple of weeks. We'll see how that goes, I guess.
I might call in, record a few snippets with you.
Yeah.
Here and there.
That might be a good idea.
That might be how it works for a while, which is fine.
Weeks. Yeah, that's fine.
We'll work through it.
It's easy to do that.
Got to make sure that you're surviving, that everyone's good.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Everyone think positive thoughts for our family. Thank you very much in advance.
Very much. But yeah, and then I'm gone for a week, but I'll be back to record for next Sunday. So
you're going to some beautiful areas, man.
I am going down to Moab, Arches, Canyonlands, that whole thing. It's 100 degrees. That's going to be fun.
That part's going to suck ass.
I'm going to melt so much.
It's going to be so terrible.
But it'll be fine. We'll survive.
Well, and we were at Arches during the summer, too. It was like 102 or something. And we just, those neck things that you can get, that you soak them in water, then put them on your neck, and they're really cool for a long time.
Yeah.
Those things helped tremendously. And then just the fans of the water where you spritz yourself and fan yourself. Those are two things that we use to get through it. And then Arches, like at the beginning, they're like, they will not let you go unless you have water with you.
Yeah, we have so many water bottles with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a blast. I'm there for a week. My family's going to be gone for 2.
Right.
They'll do Zion and
Zion's so beautiful.
That I had to make the choice on which week I wanted to go, and I've really for a long time, whatever reason, wanted to go to Moab. Yeah. So it's been a thing since I was a kid. I don't know why. I'm just like, fine, I'll go there. I want to go to Arches because of the Indiana Jones connection.
Mm-hmm. Not the Horizon Zero Dawn connection.
I guess that's true now.
Yeah, they're in Bryce and a couple other places.
Yeah, wow. I'll have to... Okay, another connection. So yeah, it should be fun. And then when I get back, that's when I plan on doing all my Steam sale shopping.
Yeah, it's going to be there for 2
weeks.
There's
no reason for me to...
Nope.
I'm not going to play anything before I leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, well, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
I expect that you'll have a kid by the time I get back.
I think so. We got acupuncture lined up for Monday, so if we don't go into labor this weekend, that will start it. So it is the most effective way to induce labor. So
okay,
there you go.
Good luck.
Thank you very much, and thanks everyone. Again, I guess the first time. I'm at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. He is at SummerSpeak. We were just usually tweeting about video games or politics, probably those two things.
Yeah.
So thanks for staying with us, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Night, everyone.
Night, folks.